So I want to sing one of his songs, which is not an easy one actually, one of the more sophisticated songs. It's called Krakow Nigun. You will know it anyway.
My name is Sharon Alexander, and I'm speaking to Felix Maria Woschek, who is the founder of the Intercultural Peace Foundation in Germany, and he's a spiritual musician, as you've just heard.
Thanks for inviting me to that interview, and it's quite exciting for me to speak about this music and the music of Shlomo Carlebach. I've been collecting songs from around the world for the last 30 years, and my understanding of peace work, intercultural peace work, was through music in first place. And I wanted to sing the music of different cultures in order to feel how they feel spiritually, religiously, you know, not studying books, but sing the music, because for me it's the easiest approach to get the feeling what it is. And out of this music, later the whole work of Peace Foundation and different projects arose.
So we're up at Schweibenalp, which is a center located in the Swiss Alps. We've just completed participating in something called the Green Phoenix Conference, which is held in October. And as I understand it, and again, you can correct me, the purpose of the Green Phoenix is basically to connect the German-speaking community with amazing community building and ecological projects around the world.
Yes, definitely yes. And the main idea when we started Green Phoenix was that we wanted to bring different aspects of spiritual work together, which is spiritual work in first place, but also community building, ecological questions and economic questions, because we believe that a future society must be based on the four principles in equal balance way.
So in attending this conference, I was astounded to hear you singing melody after melody of the famous singing rabbi, Reb Shlomo Carlebach. Although this was in no way a Jewish event. How did that come to be? How did you choose his music?
Maybe it's better to say his music chose me. And as I said, when I started my spiritual journey, actually here on Schweibenalp in '84, I first met the tradition of Indian devotional music, and my background is classical music. I grew up in a famous boy choir where I got my singing education from 7 years on, and I was always looking for something more simple. And that was my main objective, to find some simple music that is not superficial, not simple in its expression. But so I met many people from all around the world, and I met a woman who had more contact to the Jewish community, and she sang the first nigun to me, and for me it was like, wow, what a music. And then I started researching, and it's not difficult to come about Reb Shlomo Carlebach if you research about this kind of music. And so I started. At that time we didn't have internet. I had some tapes and here and there, and when I sang his music I was just so connected. And the great thing is, I sing mostly in spiritual gatherings, community meetings, and I need music that is very easy and fast. Like in this conference, you don't have to explain words, lyrics, rehearse with the people to sing. You just start, and the music comes from very inside, very silent, very introverted in first place, but then it evolves and becomes joyous. People can even dance along, and everybody can join singing, and that's the great thing about this kind of music.
I understand you never met Reb Shlomo personally.
Yeah.
Yet when I hear you sing his music, not only do you bring out the essence that he was intending with his music, but even something in a way deeper. The pauses that you take and the pacing that you make allows his music to take listeners into a meditative state. I was very moved to hear you singing his music.
First of all, I must say this is a huge compliment for me, and also a big relief hearing that from the Jewish community, from you as being Jewish, because I'm German, I'm not Jewish. And when I started to sing Sufi songs, Jewish songs, there was also criticism. Oh, he's not Muslim, how can he sing this? Oh, he's not Jewish, how can he sing our music? So there is this thing of traditional movements and points of view, which I also respect, because in no way I want to harm people in their religious feelings. But so far, that's a big point for me, you know. And I would say it's outcome of my own spiritual quest about music, and I met different musicians who inspired me a lot in that direction. And funny enough, they're all Jewish. One of them is Leonard Cohen. The other one is Jorah Feitman. And by listening to them, especially Jorah Feitman, I saw 2 of his concerts live.
The clarinetist, the klezmer clarinetist.
And I saw how he plays with this silence and joy and coming back to the very subtle, fine notes that you almost cannot hear. And I was quite young when I heard him. And that was like click, the playing with this tension between silence and coming from inside to outside. And basically I learned by that, but it did not take a lot for me. I just had the idea because it was already inside of myself. So that inspired me to take his music a bit further, as you said. And
well, despite what different Jews might say about music being theirs, Judaism has a very rich history of borrowing styles and music from other groups and then making it their own. So I think you shouldn't be on the defense any further about that. I'd like to find out from you some of the forums in which you've used Reb Shlomo's music, because I understand that you're quite involved in the intercultural peace movement.
Basically, I've sang it everywhere. Like, for example, one of my greatest friends and musical partners was Ustad Sultan Khan from India. He's a Muslim. He passed a few years ago. He was a great master of Sufi music, and we played a lot together. And for example, we've played in Queen Elizabeth's Hall in London, and we made this mixture of Indian music, Sufi music, and we even played some of the Shlomo tunes, and he came in with his Indian sarangi, and I had a great musician, Mohammed Iqbal from Persia, Iran. And so we had this amazing mixture, and we also played it on the Bombay Festival, on a big stage. So there's quite some different settings where we played it.
Yes, I saw a little bit of the film where you were playing it for the favela in Brazil.
Yeah,
for the young people,
right.
And they had quite a positive reaction.
Yeah, that's my newest project, and that was quite amazing. I play with a Brazilian band, a samba band, in the favelas of Sao Paulo, and I proposed them to play this kind of spiritual music, not only the Jewish niguns or so, also other kinds, even Sufi mantras we played. And we created this amazing mixture also to turn it into some samba rhythm. And we go through schools to teach kids a bit about spiritual music, about other cultures, about listening, being silent. And these kids, they had, you saw it in the movie, it was a 1-minute clip. They had the most amazing reaction to the music, and that shows me how universal it is. It's just, and when I started, I was a bit afraid to play it there in this setting in the slums, but it took a few minutes to melt the ice, and then.
I'm telling you, it touched my heart to see how Reb Shlomo's music in Brazil, you know, in this setting that was so unexpected. And I wondered, you know, Reb Shlomo passed away about 20 years ago already, but if you had the chance to speak to him about the impact his music's having on the world 20 years later through you, what would you say to him?
Oh, first of all, I would express my gratitude that he had this unique capacity to receive these songs, you know. Sometimes I would love to get also these songs. I don't know where he got them from. I would ask him, where do you get these songs from? And yeah, and that he opened it up for the world, because from what I know, he also came from a more traditional Hasidic background, and then in the 60s with the love movement and all this, he opened it up for the world and shared it with people, and we benefit from it. And I would ask for his blessings, what I do. That's what I would
I'm
do.
sure he's sending them. I'm sure he's, as Yiddish would say, he's quelling
Okay.
over
okay.
you. I'm sure he's
Great.
very, very pleased, as I'm sure the listeners of this video or those who read the transcript from this will also
Yeah.
be pleased and grateful to you for continuing his music. Just one last thing before we end. If someone's interested in learning more about the work that you're doing with the Intercultural Peace Foundation, where should they look? How can they find out more?
Okay, maybe first they would be more interested about my music, because that's my main thing. And I also recorded quite a few of these nigunim and different songs. And there's a website which has my name.
Maybe
We
you
will
say
write it down. It's woschek.com, woschek.com. And there are like 7 hours of free samples listening to my music. And I want to add something about that, about the CDs I recorded. Always my idea was to mix different cultures, to show the unity. So for example, I have 2 CDs called Shalom Salam, which I made in 10 years difference, volume 1 and volume 2. And it was all about the peace process between Israel and Palestine. And the first CD I recorded for the peace treaty in Oslo. And I have Arab, Islamic, Sufi music on it, and Jewish, and most of the time I mix both. So for example, I sing Shalom Aleichem, and then I weave it with Sufi mantras and Salam Alaikum, and it comes in. I have Sufi musicians in that. And I did the same thing with Sufi music and Indian, Hindu music, with Jewish, and I have all these mixtures, which maybe people think in the first moment, oh, whoa, what's that? But in the end, if you feel it, it's one, because music is only one language.
you're a real musical networker. I look forward
yeah.
to listening to
Yeah,
those. I will
yeah,
definitely
yeah,
listen to
yeah,
those.
yeah.
So they go to your website
Yeah.
and they can find that.
Yeah, and from there you can order them everywhere.
Great.
And concerning my my Peace Foundation, I must admit I have a small website on German, because I don't want to waste my time on setting all these things up in the internet and translate everything. So it's for the German readers, they can find it on interculturalpeacefoundation.com. And I'm working on it to give more information out.
You explained to Green Phoenix a little bit about what that foundation is organized to do. Maybe you just in a sentence you could say something about what you do with the money in that foundation.
Yeah, we support different small projects around the world. And one focus has always been Middle East, Israel, Palestine. We support the Holy Land Trust in Bethlehem in nonviolent work, reconciliation and understanding, connecting work. We support the Global Campus Project from Tamera in Palestine. And we have a project in Kenya with permaculture. This project in Sao Paulo, where we build a music school, a recording studio where kids learn how to play music, and also young adults how to record music. I have to think we have more projects. Schweibenalp Center of Unity is one of our main projects. We are sitting here on this beautiful spot. But it's all about peace work, but trans-religious, trans-cultural, intercultural, however you want to call it. I believe, and my wife, who is doing the work with me, we believe in one heart expressed in different cultures, religions, and that's our work.
Felix, it's been my great pleasure to meet you and to interview you and to let other people know what it is
Yes.
that you're doing. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
so much, Sharon. Great pleasure for me too.